Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to Birth Your Vision podcast series. And this is season 2. I'm super excited today to welcome the wonderful Toyin Oyebiyi. She is such an amazing woman, very creative, a super working mother with fantastic children. She's the founder of Tea's Bakery, and this was founded in 2015. After baking a cake for her first son for his birthday, the family really enjoyed it. And since then, she's been quite known, very popular for her cakes. And today she's going to be telling us the journey from when she now decided to birth this lovely vision of being, the founder of Tea Bakery, and also telling us about how she was able to pivot her business to be able to actually have some extra income, especially during this season. So welcome, Toyin, to the platform. It's a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. Welcome to all our viewers. Thanks for your support and your contribution. And today, I just want you to join us, give us some hearts, and give us some amazing thumbs up as well. Welcome, Toyin, onto the platform. We are live on different platforms. We are live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So thank you so much for joining us. So welcome, Toyin, to this platform. It's a pleasure having you here today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here today.
Thank you so much. So tell us a little bit more about yourself, the journey itself in becoming the founder of Tea Bakery.
So it all started in 2015. It was my first son's birthday. At the time, he was just turning 3, and I wanted someone to make a cake for him, a Jungle Book themed cake.
Right.
I wasn't able to find a baker because I left it to last minute, and a family friend then advised me to make the cake by myself, which I decided to do, and I thought there's no harm in it.
Absolutely.
Thankfully, my mom and my grandmom are very skilled bakers, and they were around, so they helped me to make that cake. They gave me a lot of advice. I also went online and watched a few tutorials. But to cut the long story short, the cake, we made the cake. It was a 2-tier Jungle Book themed cake. It came out in fantastic, and that was how it started. Everyone liked it. I put it up on my Facebook page with so much pride and joy, and everyone liked it. And before long, the phone calls started coming in. Friends and family wanted me to make cakes for them. And then I caught the baking bug. I became addicted to baking. I just wanted to bake.
Wow.
And that's pretty much how it started.
That's amazing. That is super, super amazing. And, in terms of you now sort of going into the business, I know that you are a professional barrister, actually. You studied law?
I did study law, yes, but I never practiced as a barrister.
Right.
I studied law and I got called to the bar. I think that was in 2009.
Right.
Yes, but that was where I left it. And then I worked in a bank
for quite a number of years before you now sort of transition into becoming the founder of Tea Bakery.
Yes.
Incredible. That is super amazing. And so from the moment you now decided to now start your business, what was it like? What was the journey like? So from the sort of time you decided that you wanted to kickstart it, how was it challenging? Was it easy?
I think I was very, very ambitious. I was excited because cake making and decorating became a hobby for me. So I enjoyed it amazingly. And also at that time I had 2 kids. And I wanted to stay at home and be there for my kids because working in the city, I was working very long hours. By the time I get back home, I'm exhausted. And then I have cake orders because by then I was taking orders for celebration cakes. I used to constantly feel exhausted. There was a time I almost fainted on the train on my way home.
Wow.
So I knew something had to give. And as much as my 9 to 5 job was paying me a lot of money, I just felt that was what I had to give. And I was quite ambitious, and I was quite positive that I could start my own business, and that was the time. And yeah, so I would say I was scared. I was sad. I did cry, because throwing your career behind you, it's like, it was a huge gamble. But for me, it was more of a case of stooping to conquer.
Yes.
Because at that time, it's not like I had saved up enough money to invest in Tooth Bakery. Tooth Bakery hadn't even quite kicked off in the wedding industry, even though I was making celebration cakes. I was nowhere near the wedding industry at all. So it was a huge gamble on my part, but I think it's paid off pretty well.
Fantastic. That's amazing. I just wanted to know about what is it like sort of working from home now? Because obviously everyone is at home, and
Yeah.
they're running their business at home as well. So what is it like right now? Because I know you've got younger children and you're
Yeah.
looking after them as well as running your business. How have you been able to actually manage that?
It's tougher now that I have a 10-month-old baby than it was when both my boys were always in school. It was a bit tough, but then it was flexible. So I would do the school runs. I'll drop them off at school in the morning, and in the afternoon, pick them up. So in between when I drop them off and when I have to pick them up, that's when I would make the cakes.
Yes.
And what else? Yeah, so that's when I'll make the cakes. Or when they go to bed at night, I would then make the cake. So it was quite tough, because I was working around the clock. If I'm not on school runs or taking them for one club or the other, or doing homework with them, I'm making cakes. So it was really, really hard work. Even much more harder now that I've got a 10-month-old baby. But in a way, this whole pandemic has forced me to rest.
Yes, I think a lot of us have actually been resting, sort of reinventing ourselves, and reaching out to other people to see how we can actually help them as well. But particularly we've actually been looking at how to run our business more effectively online. And some of us, we're not really used to the online platforms. And how was that for you, sort of running your business online, running your sessions, or your meetings? How was that for you?
In terms of with Tea's Bakery?
Yes, Tea's Bakery. Yeah.
I didn't really have meetings and all of that online. Since the pandemic, I've not really had any client consultations or any of that sort. So it's hard to say from that perspective. I mean, a lot of my weddings obviously have been postponed, some towards the end of this year, some to next year. And I just speak to the clients on the phone. I've developed a very good relationship with my clients. The inquiries that I'm currently getting, again, I speak to them on my phone. I've not had the need to have any Zoom consultation, for example. Prior to COVID-19, I already used to have telephone consultation. So that's something that I'm already used to. Something that, I'm currently doing at the same time. Yeah.
Fantastic. So so currently, in terms of having your cake business, what has it been like? Have you been able to bake during this period? What have you done?
I have been, as much as I say, now that it's hard for me to bake because I'm homeschooling full time, which is a full-time job on its own.
Yeah.
I have been accepting little orders here and there, mainly for birthday cakes and mainly for people who live quite close to me.
Right.
But they can easily pick it up. I'm not in a position to deliver a cake because of the kids, basically.
Absolutely. And the social distancing as well.
Social distancing, exactly.
Yes. So you've been able to bake, but then it's been delivered
in a way. It up, or they live so close, or I drop it off, or my husband drops it off, and they're just very close proximity. One was my next door neighbor, so she just walked over and picked up the cake.
Fantastic. Okay, so also let's talk about how you've been able to kind of use your skills, especially during this season, because I know that you've got such amazing skills in website building, and you've actually gone ahead and started a business in website design for entrepreneurs, those who are looking to start up their businesses. What made you kind of pivot your business during this season?
So, web design and brand design is something that I think I've been doing for quite a while now. When I was working in the city, I worked as a client reporting business analyst,
Yes.
and I worked for asset management banks. And what that job involved was creating online investment reports for clients. So I worked with Newton Investment Management, I worked with HSBC Asset Management,
Right.
and I worked very closely with the branding teams of these organizations. I also worked for a software vendor called Vermilion that designed reports. So I learned how to design whilst working for Vermilion and all these other asset management firms. I learned a lot about branding, and that's when I really understood branding, which is why when it came to setting up my own business, Tees Bakery, I already knew how important my brand had to be. And I already knew that because I wanted to be set apart. I wanted to stand out in the industry. I knew no one knew me, particularly in the wedding industry.
Yeah.
And I thought the wedding industry is already crowded. How am I going to come into a crowded industry and stand out?
Yes.
But the only thing that I knew that would really help me and advocate for me is my brand.
Yes.
And one thing I always say to people is that your brand is a silent ambassador for your business.
Fantastic. I love that. Yeah.
A lot of people don't even make use of that. You know, they think of so many different ways to market their business, but the number one and the strongest thing to do is to have a solid brand that would speak for you. So I already understood that, and I was able to grow Tees Bakery based on that concept. So I had someone that initially designed my website for me on Tees Bakery, my Tees Bakery website. But since then, he handed it over to me. And since then, the website has grown and evolved. And I'm always tweaking things. I do my own SEO. I'm part of over 50 directories online. And I just learned everything that I had to with my brand and all of that.
That's amazing.
Based on that knowledge that I had friends coming to me to say, how did you make it? Because I had a strong brand with Tees Bakery, I was able to, I've won over 3 awards in the industry. All of this is on my website.
Fantastic.
I've had magazines wanting to feature my work. And, you know, I've been flown to so many different countries. I've made cakes for presidents and celebrities.
Wow.
Whatnot. But what makes me stand out is my brand. And a friend of mine who owns a business to sell Ankara material approached me last year, and she's like, what did you do to stand out? What exactly was it that you did? And I said, you know what? I can help you. And I saw her product and I thought, this is fantastic. And there's so many people out there who already do this with Ankara material.
Yes.
And I said to her, do you know what? Where would you want to see your products? Where would you want to sell your products? And she said, oh, my dream would be to sell it in places like John Lewis or you know, one of these big place. And I said, you know what, it's possible. I went onto the Phoenix website, John Lewis website. I studied their website. I saw how they display their products and everything. And I said, you need to make your website and your brand look so attractive so that when these people come on there and look at it, they feel that they would beg you to sell your products in their shop.
So what you're saying is that your personal brand, it's so vital when it comes to business.
Yes, it is. Sorry, I think the sun has changed and I look dark.
Yes, you do look dark on the Facebook
on that
page.
One.
Are you able to adjust it? Okay, yep, you're back again.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, the sun, we have to just make what the sun is giving us today. But it looks a lot better now. Carry on.
Yeah. So where was I? I think you were asking a
Personal
question.
brands, yeah.
I mean, personal branding, it's so important. It's so big. I mean, if I start to tell you the amount of things that just my brand has done for me, it's only recently that people have started seeing the face behind Tea's Bakery, which is me.
Absolutely, you're
I
right.
mean,
And that's very similar to me as well. Yeah,
yeah,
because they see all the branding, you know, we
exactly.
stand out, we have this wonderful, brilliant logo, and we do a lot of things, and the brand is there, and we really do stand out. But
Mhm.
sometimes I'm behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Same,
And I just
same as
thought, you know
me.
what, let me just step out of my comfort zone and come to the
And
front.
which is what I've decided to do recently, actually. And to be
Yeah.
honest, one of the reasons why, I mean, I'm hardly at a lot of networking events, even though I should be. But that's because I've got my hands full. I've got 3 children. I'm still a full-time mom. I don't have
Yeah.
a nanny or an au pair or anything. I still do everything by myself. So
Mm.
I am really busy. So that means that I'm not able to physically go out for networking events, for example, and sell my business. So my brand has to do it for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You've mentioned quite a lot of great tips there in terms of standing out with your brand. So, what sort of things can someone do when it comes to standing out as a brand? And what are the tips that you can actually share?
So the obvious things is what your website looks like and
Yeah.
your logo. What I always tell people, especially when they're starting up and they want to, develop their brand, what I say to them is think about your target audience. Who are you targeting?
Hmm.
For me, for example, I had never made a wedding cake in my life before, but yet I wanted my target audience was presidents, royal family, celebrities, and I said I am going to create a brand
Yeah.
and a website that would attract these people. So when you're creating your brand and your website, think about the sort of audience you want to attract
Yes.
and create something that you know they would find appealing,
Hmm.
something that would drag them to your company. So for me, with Tea's Bakery, I had created this strong brand, and I knew that all I had to do was just to get in people's faces, and no doubt they would want to ask about my product or they would want to see me. And
Yes.
I'll give you an example of what my branding did for me. I was commissioned to make a cake in South Africa.
Right.
I think this is about 3 years ago. And first of all, I stayed in the Radisson Blue.
Hmm.
Normally, hotels wouldn't let you use their kitchen. When the planner mentioned Tea's Bakery and sent them my website and my details, the response was like, this looks like a very credible company. We would allow them to use our kitchen. That's the first thing they did. On
Right.
getting to South Africa and meeting them, my mannerism, which again
Change
is your brand, how you present yourself,
yourself.
my mannerism and everything, they were so impressed. They upgraded me to the presidential suite.
Fantastic.
The next morning, the head chef had gathered the whole hotel management team, and they were all waiting for me at the lobby.
Yeah.
And they all came out and they all wanted to take a picture with me. And they really treated me as if I was some sort of celebrity. I couldn't understand why. But then again, when I was speaking to the staff in the kitchen that I was working with, they kept telling me how much the management team of the hotel is amazed by my
Wow.
and by just looking at my brand and all. So my brand did that for me. I don't
Fantastic.
know these people. I never spoke to them, but this
Yeah.
is something that my brand did to me. So I would say it's not just about when it comes to branding. It's not just about the logo and the website. That's one aspect. It's the
Yeah.
sort of service you provide. Are you always late when you deliver? That is part of your brand.
Hmm.
What I'd say to people, and I'm going to give everybody this assignment: think about 5 things you want people to think about your business when they see your business. For
Yeah.
Tea Bakery, for example, excellence is one. I want that whenever people see anything Tea's Bakery, whether my website, my business card, my cakes, or me in person, I want them to see excellence. I want them to associate that word with my brand. I want them to associate luxury. I want them to associate high class, perfection. These are the sort of things I want associated with my brand.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you for sure. I think those tips that you gave, they're very vital as well. Also, when it comes to creating a business, how effective do you feel having a website is for small businesses?
I think it's very, very important. And I don't think a lot of small businesses understand its importance yet. Social media, Instagram is going to come and go one day. Facebook is going to come and go one day. There was a time where there was a crash on Instagram. And a lot of bloggers or influencers and bloggers, they were so scared because all they had was Instagram. One day it is going to go. And you need a strong online presence. And by online presence, it's not even just restricted to the website. It's on Google. Are you part of different directories? Can people find your business? These are the sort of things that make your business credible, because you want customers and clients to be able to trust you.
Absolutely.
You want client loyalty. To be able to get that loyalty, to be able to get that trust, you have to have a good online presence. And it doesn't just start and end with Instagram, which a lot of small business owners are making that mistake.
Yeah.
Build a website, build a solid website. Have a blog on the website, blog about something that would help your Google rating to appear on pages in Google. Sign up. There's thousands of free directories online. Sign up to all the directories. And these are the sort of stuff that will boost your online presence. And if Instagram crashes, that's fine.
Yeah.
You've got other platforms to hang on to.
Indeed.
So yes.
Absolutely. I do agree with you for sure. I think it's good to have a website so that people can actually reach you. All these platforms, they're amazing because they help you to reach out to your audience. But at the end of the day, some things could happen, things could go wrong. Like you said, there was a massive crash. Even using Zoom as well, there was a crash, I think last week, Sunday or something like that. So it's important to have your services on different platforms, on different directories. But ultimately, you need a website, especially if you have a business, which is key. Also, why do you think it's important in terms of branding your? I mean, why do you think it's important to stand out from everybody else? What is that key factor that could make you stand out from everybody else?
So just sorry, before I answer that, just to let the viewers know is that I'm using two screens. So sometimes I'm looking at one screen,
Indeed,
and I'm looking at the other screen. So if it looks like I'm being distracted, I'm not. I'm trying to figure out which screen to look at. So I would say it's standing out of the crowd is quite important, especially if you want to grow your business, if you want to have a successful business, especially in a crowded market or a crowded industry. So like I said, there's so many cake makers, for example, thousands of people making cakes, and thousands of people are making amazing cakes.
Indeed.
They're making amazing cakes. So how would you then sell your product when A, B, and C are making cakes probably even better than you are?
Exactly. So, how do you really distinguish yourself out of the market?
Exactly. And for me, one of the key things is your brand. And like I said, branding is not just about colors, font, logo, website. No, it goes way beyond that. It's how you want people to perceive you. I'll give you an example. The pictures of my cakes that I put out there, on the pictures of my cakes that you see on my website and on my Instagram page or Facebook page, you would never see a picture that has been taken with a mobile phone. If it's not a high resolution image, it's not going on my social media, because that's part of my brand. The quality of the images that I put out there is part of my brand. Excellent. I
Brilliant.
remember when I was commissioned to make a cake in Atlanta, I forgot my camera charger. And just as I was about to take a picture of the cake, the battery died.
Oh dear. So what
And
happened?
I had to use my phone. I wasn't able to take pictures with my camera. I spoke to the photographer there and asked if he could send me 1 or 2 pictures whenever the pictures were ready. I mean, he did send it, but it wasn't the sort of images that I would have liked, because when I take images of my cakes, images of a product, I want details to be there. I want people to see the details, to appreciate the work that has gone
Yes,
into the creation. And he
absolutely.
took a picture. It was a lovely picture, but it wasn't as detailed as I would like. Until today, as I put up the picture that he took on my Instagram, but the other pictures of the details that I took on my mobile phone, I refused to put it up. Even though I had taken it on my mobile phone, I refused to put it up because for me, it does not represent my brand.
Absolutely. So it's all about sharing the perfect image so that people can see the real quality of your product as well, which is very important. Also, let's talk about how you actually help people to sort of plan out a website. What do you do? So if I was to come to you and I was to say to you that I need a website for my business, how would you actually help me?
So I would start off by asking you what you want to see. I would want to look at your brand first of all. Have you got a logo? Have you got colors? Have you chosen that? I would want to look at your products if you're a product-based business, or know more about the services that you provide. And I would ask you what you want to achieve out of the website. What do you want customers to do when they come to your website?
Right.
What do you want to achieve? And based on the information you give me, I would then ask you to show me websites of top companies that you totally admire, that you probably think, oh, it would take 1,000 years to get to their level. I don't mind.
Right.
Send them my way. And I want to see the website that you admire. And it's the same thing that I do with cakes as well. When I'm trying to understand a client's taste, because there's so many types of cakes nowadays. And I say to them, send me 5 pictures of cakes that when you look at, you absolutely adore. And when they send that to me, instantly, I get a feel for their taste. And that's something I'll ask. And then what I will then do for a website is I would align your taste with what you're trying to achieve. Sometimes the two wouldn't go hand in hand. And I would say, okay, so your taste is nice. However, if you want to get to there, you have to change it slightly, because this website is not about you per se, unless you want a personal branding where you're a speaker or a coach or something, where it has to be about you and reflect who you are as a person. But if it's a service or a bit or a product that you have, I would say, okay, let's look at what would make you sell. We want the right clients. We want to be able to attract the right clients.
Absolutely.
So I would also ask you who's your target client. And one thing I never fail to tell people is, everybody feels if they're in the business, they need to attract the royals, the presidents, the celebrities. Not necessarily.
Yeah, because people feel like they're able to afford their services and able to pay more. Maybe that's the reason why.
And I think that's what's the word? That's not always necessarily true. Do you know one of the most successful business today? McDonald's. McDonald's is one of the most successful business today. Primark is doing absolutely well.
They are indeed.
People, think about your goal and your business plan. We don't always have to cater to the luxury world.
Yeah.
There are still other people to cater with, and you can make really good profit, way more profit than those striving to get the luxury person.
And it's quite a long process as well, because you're not really sure whether you'll be able to get those kind of customers. You have to work extra hard, isn't it?
Extra hard, exactly.
Yeah, indeed.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting those sort of clients, but I also say to people, let's try and be realistic here.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. So when it comes to social media, how would you kind of support people in terms of making sure that they have the right social media handles for their businesses? Because sometimes people are not really sure of the sort of social media platforms to use as well. So what's your take on that?
So there's a huge market out there in social media, and I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie. And I do
Mm,
understand the pain certain people feel, because I'm not like Pinterest. I have no clue how to use Pinterest, whereas it
yeah.
would do me very good if I did for my cakes.
Yes.
And I'm gradually forgetting Facebook. And I think right now there's a lot of focus on Instagram. But
Yes.
what I'm now having to do is I'm having to remind myself constantly that, listen, there are audiences in the other platform. There are people on Facebook, for example, that are not on Instagram. They don't even know how to use Instagram. It could be a different generation or a different type of people. I don't know. But there
Mm,
is an audience on there is an audience on every platform. It's good if you can. If you're not able to, then you can outsource it. There are loads
mm,
of people who are able to manage your social media for you. It would cost you money, but then
yeah,
again, you have to weigh things. At the end of the day, this is your business.
indeed.
Is this going to
Absolutely.
be an investment for you?
Yeah.
How are you either invest your time and find ways to make it work and do it, to handle it by yourself,
Mm,
or you invest your money and get someone else to handle it for you. It is really important to try and go across all boards, but I feel it's not easy. So I'm not going to come and talk like it's an easy thing to do. Like I said, Pinterest and
mm.
me. Mm.
Absolutely. I understand what you mean, because some people, they get quite confused in terms of what platform to use for their services and their business.
Yeah.
And it's so important that people know who their audience are. So one of the questions from the viewers is, how do you know your target audience? So they want to know, how do you know your target audience? That's one of the questions from the viewers.
I guess it's entirely up to you to decide who you want to target. So when you're starting a business, even when you want to do a business plan, for example, the plan, first of all, you choose you think about the product and service that you have to offer.
Yeah.
Think about it. Then think about, okay, based on this, who would be my ideal client? Taking
Mm,
my location into consideration as
so,
well.
yeah.
You can be in the same business as someone in Scotland. You could be making the exact same thing and doing the exact same thing, but their ideal clients can be different from yours, just based on geographical location.
Absolutely.
So, and this is what I always tell people. A lot of times as business owners, we're so keen to see what other people are doing. We all are walking different lanes.
Mm.
Focus on your lane, set goals and targets for your business and focus on that. Don't look at what A and B is doing.
Yeah, I think a lot of us, we actually do that a lot, isn't it?
We do. And
I mean, it's okay to feel inspired by what other people are doing, but ultimately you have to understand your niche and what
your
you're
niche.
exactly doing, and know who your
Exactly.
customers are and who you're targeting, you
Yeah,
know.
your personal circumstance, for example, could be a factor in deciding who your target market is going to be. I mean, for me,
Absolutely.
for example, I've got 3 kids.
Mm,
I've got my hands full and I'm doing everything by myself. I'm taking them
yes.
for tennis,
Yeah.
football, whatever club. This is after school, there's school runs, and then now homeschooling. I'm like a crazy woman.
I mean, how is that going homeschooling currently? Because I
Oh,
know
I
you've got
think we're
under
starting
10s.
to get a hang of it. Five
Yeah.
weeks into it,
How was it in the beginning for you? Must have been
it was
absolutely
horrible.
stressful. Yeah.
It was horrible. I can't think of any other nice or politically correct way to say it. It was horrible.
Oh my days. So someone said, if I was to build a website, roughly how much are the fees?
So my prices are
Mm,
on my website,
yeah.
and it really depends on what you want to achieve out of it. Now,
Mm,
the sort of service that I provide is very different from a lot of web developers out there. I use a platform called Wix, and I'm completely honest with how I
mm,
work, because
right.
I know Wix. I'm not too good with square plates, or all the other platforms out there, and I don't build it from scratch, because like everything that I've said is, for me, it's a whole package. It's not just to build a website. I look at your business entirely.
Yeah.
And I create a brand and a look that would attract your target clients. And the reason why I love Wix, I've been using Wix for years, and it's what has helped me and brought me to where I am. I've won awards, I've been flown to different countries, I've made cakes for presidents and celebrities, etc. Apart from making nice cakes, my brand is what has spoken and helped me. So I build it on these platforms. So I am cheaper than if you were to go to a developer to build it from scratch.
Right.
There are benefits of building a website from scratch, but what, in my opinion, I think that is better for bigger companies. If you're starting off, build it on a website like Wix, so that any ongoing maintenance to your website, you can do it by yourself, because it's quite user friendly. One of the service that I provide, if I was to do your website, is a training service. By the time we go live, I would then show you the back end and show you how to upload a photo or to add a blog or to do, and it's so user friendly and it's so easy.
Fantastic.
It's something that you can do. So I would train you so that once I leave you, you can fly solo comfortably. And again, I'm only a phone call away. Something is totally complicated.
Brilliant.
And the customer service team at Wix is brilliant, which is why I like it. You can always find an answer to your problem. I have never had any problem with Wix.
Fantastic. So during this period, when it comes to you sort of doing the services and helping people to build their websites, how effective have you found it? How easy have you been able to adapt in terms of coming out of baking, and now going into doing the website building for clients?
I'm still doing both hand in hand. I've actually got a cake and they're coming to pick up on Thursday.
Okay.
So I'm still baking.
Yeah.
As much as I say, oh, I'm not going to bake, because there was a time which, I think it was even last week, I said, you know what, I'm going to hold on baking because of the kids. It's a bit stressful. That homeschooling really had its toll on me.
I could imagine, indeed. I think it had its toll on everybody, actually.
For a cake, But now I am taking small orders for people who live quite, near me. So I'm still managing the two at the same time.
Fantastic. That is really awesome. So I just wanted to know, what advice would you give to those aspiring entrepreneurs who may want to actually start a web design business? What advice would you give them?
I guess you just need to be able to explain to people the importance and try to get people to understand the importance of having a website and a good brand. And also give it your all. Like I said, when I started web design, I didn't wake up one morning and say, oh, I want to be a web designer with no prior experience. I've used my transferable skills and I've used my knowledge to start this business.
Which is really commendable.
Yes. So having worked for big companies like HSBC, Bank of New York, Vermilion, creating reports for them. And then after that, starting my own business, building my own brand and business and seeing results. And the results that I have seen with Tea's Bakery is not just limited to awards and accreditation. It's not limited to who I've made cakes for. I have made a profit. There is a saying, and I'm going to be completely honest and open. There is a saying that new businesses, they make their profits after 3 years or something like that. The first year I didn't make a profit with Tea's Bakery, and that's because I pumped in a lot of money into it in terms of my branding, exhibitions, building my studio. There was quite a lot of money in the first year. Second year, third year, I made a huge profit. So I didn't even get to the to the 3 years mark where they say, oh, in 3 years. If I did, then it'd be next year that I'll be looking at making a profit, because I've only been in the wedding industry for 3 years.
Wow.
from the second year, I made a profit. Second and third year, I made a profit, and a good profit. So Tea's Bakery has helped me with paying up all my bills and, all the other things I have to do financially.
Fantastic. That's really good. I think doing business is not easy. It's a progressive thing. You could start and you can hit it off, and sometimes it takes a long time to actually start making, money and all that stuff. So absolutely. But, you've done really, really well, and I'm so proud of you. Your accomplishments and your achievements is just so commendable. And I would like you to leave your details on the comment section. Let people know how to get in touch with you. Also tell us about your social media handles so people can know how to reach you as well.
Yeah, sure. How do I leave it on the... Do you want me to do that now?
You can actually do it later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add it on the Facebook page and the YouTube as well.
Okay.
And you can add any other little bits if you want to, but you can actually tell us how to reach you. Maybe your email if you want to tell people.
So you can reach me if it's for a website and web development. You can reach me on info@qumdesign.com. So that's info@qumdesign.com.
Okay.
And for cakes, it's info@teasbakery.co.uk.
Fantastic. Awesome. It's been such a pleasure having you here. You've had so many information. It's just unbelievable. We are so proud of you, and we will continue to cheer you on. Thank you so much for giving us all these fantastic nuggets. Thank you all our viewers watching us from different platforms today. It's been an honor having Toyin on the podcast live show. Thank you so much, Toyin. And we will be back again for more fantastic information, and obviously we're going to be giving you lots of strategies of how to grow and even start your business as well. Thank you so much. Stay blessed.
Thank you so much for having me.
Have a great evening.
And
bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. See ya.